Archaeologists have discovered a vast tunnel under an ancient Egyptian temple that may lead to Cleopatra's lost tomb.
It's so exciting. I need to see what is in there. It has been hidden for 2,000 years.
Throughout history, humans have been mesmerized by the extraordinary stories of those who have overcome tremendous challenges and achieved legendary status. Among these remarkable figures is Cleopatra, whose beauty, charisma, and strategic use of charm in her political endeavors and alliances have made her an iconic figure. But there's a catch. The passage of time poses a real threat to her lasting legacy. Now, in the pursuit of a deeper understanding of Cleopatra's life and legacy, archaeologists have finally discovered Cleopatra's long-lost tomb. Where exactly was her long-lost burial place found, and what astounding revelation was unearthed in her final resting place? Let's find out. Ancient Egypt is undeniably captivating, as it remains one of the most spectacular eras in human history. What sets it apart from other civilizations of the past are its unparalleled levels of sophistication and incredible strides in various fields. The grandeur of ancient Egypt is displayed through towering pyramids, massive statues, and intricately adorned temples, showcasing the civilization's remarkable engineering skills and artistic genius. But it's not just the architecture that provides insight into the wonders of this era. The discovery of intact tombs, like Tutankhamun's in the Valley of the Kings, has offered invaluable glimpses into the life and culture of this fascinating civilization. However, recent excavations have brought about another thrilling revelation: the tomb of Queen Cleopatra. This discovery has shattered many myths surrounding the life of one of the most influential women in ancient Egypt. This modern Egyptian discovery is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating and promises to reveal even more about this mysterious queen's life and reign. Keep watching to learn more about the shocking inscriptions and treasures found in the long-lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra. But first, let's introduce you to one of the most powerful women that ever lived. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC in the vibrant city of Alexandria. This city, founded by the legendary Alexander the Great, was nestled in the beautiful Nile Delta. The Egyptian queen, Cleopatra VII Philopator, is one of the most well-known women in all of human history. Throughout her life, Cleopatra was known as a remarkable strategist, displaying unwavering determination, sharp intelligence, and cunning wit. Not only that, but she also owned a wealth that could rival any fortune of her time, adding to her influence and power. The wise Greek philosopher once wrote that being in her presence was simply irresistible. Cleopatra fascinated countless individuals during her lifetime, and her allure hasn't faded one bit. Cleopatra was a smart and multilingual female pharaoh who knew how to take charge of Egypt and other lands. Her amazing presence and captivating personality, along with her great conversational skills, made her truly unforgettable. Cleopatra's story starts in ancient Egypt, where she was born into a family of noble lineage. She belonged to the famous Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of rulers with a rich history. But growing up wasn't easy for her because Egypt was in a political mess, with power struggles and rivalries tearing the kingdom apart. In the midst of all that chaos, Cleopatra's family got caught up in a complicated web of alliances and betrayals. To secure her place on the throne, Cleopatra had no choice but to marry her brother, Ptolemy VIII. Together, they were supposed to bring prosperity to Egypt, but their partnership was anything but harmonious, and that led to some unexpected twists. Cleopatra soon realized that her brother wasn't cut out for ruling a kingdom. He lacked the smarts and strength needed for the job. She knew she had to become a powerful leader herself, someone who commanded respect and loyalty. Armed with her sharp mind and magnetic presence, Cleopatra set out to win over the hearts and minds of her people. She faced a lot of challenges in her quest to establish her authority, but what set her apart was her incredible combination of intelligence, education, and language skills. Cleopatra wasn't just fluent in her native Egyptian language. She could also speak Greek and Latin with ease. That meant she could communicate effectively with all kinds of people, building connections and understanding that went beyond Egypt's borders. One of Cleopatra's main goals as a leader was to bring Egypt up to date and make its economy stronger. She knew that innovation and progress were key, so she implemented reforms that improved things like infrastructure, agriculture, and trade. Under her guidance, Egypt flourished. With better irrigation systems, expanded trade networks, and increased agricultural productivity, the kingdom thrived and gained more recognition on the world stage. What did the life of an ancient Egypt ruler look like, and how was it for a queen like Cleopatra? Egyptian pharaohs, the rulers of ancient Egypt, held a position of immense power and authority. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt enjoyed a host of privileges that set them apart from their subjects. They were considered divine beings, serving as the intermediaries between the gods and the people. This divine status bestowed upon them immense authority and control over all aspects of Egyptian society. They were responsible for maintaining order, managing the economy, and overseeing religious ceremonies. Pharaohs were responsible for ensuring the favor of the gods and maintaining ma'at, the concept of cosmic balance and harmony. The pharaohs participated in elaborate rituals such as the Sed festival, a jubilee celebration held to commemorate their continued vitality and reign. They also oversaw the construction of grandiose temples and monuments dedicated to the gods, showcasing their devotion and reinforcing their divine mandate. The society in which pharaohs existed revolved around a hierarchical structure, with the pharaoh at the pinnacle. The pharaoh was surrounded by a highly organized bureaucracy that assisted in the administration of the kingdom. Priests, nobles, and military commanders held influential positions and enjoyed privileges, serving as the pharaoh's loyal advisors and administrators. The common people, comprising farmers, artisans, and laborers, formed the backbone of society and were subject to the authority of the ruling pharaoh. Egyptian society was deeply rooted in religion, and the pharaohs played a central role in maintaining the religious and spiritual fabric of the kingdom. The Egyptian pantheon consisted of numerous gods and goddesses, and the pharaohs were seen as the living embodiment of these deities. They were responsible for ensuring the prosperity and well-being of the kingdom by appeasing the gods through rituals and offerings. Life for a pharaoh was not without its challenges. They were expected to lead their armies in battle, defend the kingdom's borders, and maintain a prosperous economy. The pharaohs were constantly engaged in diplomatic relations with neighboring kingdoms and were often embroiled in conflicts and power struggles. Despite the privileges and authority they enjoyed, pharaohs faced the constant pressure of upholding the divine order and the expectations placed upon them by both the gods and the people. Notable pharaohs emerged throughout Egypt's long history. One such pharaoh was Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great. He reigned for an astonishing 66 years and led numerous military campaigns, leaving behind an impressive legacy of monumental architecture, including the famous temples of Abu Simbel. Another renowned pharaoh was Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs. She ruled during the New Kingdom and is remembered for her ambitious building projects and her role in expanding trade networks. But Hatshepsut's name isn't as widely known in modern times as Cleopatra. Now, let's get back to the fascinating Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not only highly skilled in managing internal affairs, but also a master of diplomacy. She strategically formed alliances with influential leaders of her time, most notably Julius Caesar, the powerful Roman general and statesman. Cleopatra's collaboration with Caesar not only secured her position on the throne, but also brought numerous benefits to Egypt. Through her influence, she negotiated favorable trade agreements, protected Egyptian interests, and established a strong bond between Egypt and Rome. After Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra turned her attention to Mark Antony, another influential Roman leader. Their romantic relationship became legendary and immortalized in various forms of art and literature. Cleopatra and Mark Antony formed a powerful alliance, both politically and romantically. Cleopatra's diplomatic skills played a crucial role in maintaining a stable relationship between Egypt and Rome during a time of political turbulence. Cleopatra's reign was not solely focused on politics and the economy. She made significant contributions to the cultural and intellectual development of Alexandria, Egypt's capital. Under her patronage, Alexandria became a center of learning and artistic brilliance. Cleopatra's most notable achievement was the famous Library of Alexandria, which attracted scholars and intellectuals from around the world. However, as Cleopatra's influence over Mark Antony grew, Their relationship faced significant disapproval. Octavian, feeling betrayed by Mark Antony's behavior towards his sister, grew resentful. The friendship between Mark Antony and Octavian began to fade, leading to a war between Mark Antony and Cleopatra. The Battle of Actium marked Octavian's ascension as the sole emperor of Rome and signaled the end for Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Despite their efforts, they were forced to flee, and tragedy befell them. According to various sources, it is said that after being misinformed of Cleopatra's suicide, Mark Antony stabbed himself multiple times. He was then brought to Cleopatra, where she wept profusely, calling him her master and husband. She smeared his blood on her face, covered him with her cloth, and dressed herself in royal attire. Cleopatra attempted suicide several times but failed. In the end, she allowed a live poisonous cobra snake to bite her, causing her to die from its venom. These events were confirmed by her physician, Olympus, making this version the most trusted among other possible versions. Cleopatra's story is one of love, diplomacy, and a passionate pursuit of sustaining her dynasty's legacy. She was not just a seductive figure, but a brilliant and multifaceted leader who left an indelible mark on history. From her rise to power in a politically tumultuous Egypt to her strategic alliances with influential leaders, Cleopatra's story is one of ambition, intellect, and resilience. In addition to her political and diplomatic achievements, Cleopatra made significant contributions to the cultural and intellectual development of Alexandria, the capital of Egypt. She supported the arts, sciences, and literature, and her patronage transformed Alexandria into a thriving center of creativity and intellectual growth. The Library of Alexandria, established under her leadership, became a symbol of knowledge and attracted scholars and intellectuals from all over the world. However, Cleopatra's romantic involvement with Mark Antony stirred controversy and led to her downfall. The disapproval of Octavian, Mark Antony's ally, and the subsequent war against them marked the end of their alliance. The Battle of Actium resulted in heavy losses for Cleopatra and Mark Antony, forcing them to flee. This pivotal moment in their story eventually gave rise to centuries of mystery surrounding their deaths. Now we have the opportunity to uncover the hidden truths surrounding the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb. To fully appreciate the excitement and terror that accompanies this discovery, we must first address a few important questions. Why is Cleopatra's death and the discovery of her tomb such a big deal? For centuries, the tragic story of Cleopatra's death has fascinated countless people. It's a heartbreaking story filled with love, sorrow, and ultimately death. It all started with their defeat in the Battle of Actium. After seeking refuge in Egypt, Cleopatra and her lover Mark Antony were relentlessly pursued by Octavian's forces. At first, Antony held resentment towards Cleopatra for her role in their defeat. But over time, they managed to reconcile and find solace in each other's arms in the vibrant city of Alexandria. However, Cleopatra soon realized that Octavian would forever view her as an enemy. She understood that he would seize her and her children, parading them as trophies of his victory in Rome. Faced with this grim fate, Cleopatra made a devastating decision that would plunge her into eternal sorrow. She sent a message to Antony, informing him that she had taken her own life. Upon receiving this heart-wrenching news, Antony was consumed by grief and despair. Unable to bear the weight of his loss, he chose to end his own life by falling upon his sword. While there are different accounts of Cleopatra's death, the prevailing narrative suggests the involvement of an Egyptian cobra known as an asp. Early sources claim to have witnessed Cleopatra's suicide, or at least been present in Alexandria at the time. These accounts likely drew from historical records. According to the captivating tale, Cleopatra had an asp brought to her concealed within a basket of figs. She allowed the deadly serpent to bite her, sealing her tragic fate. The exact date of her death is believed to be either August 10th or 12, 30 BCE. However, there are alternative theories that propose a more sinister plot, suggesting that Octavian orchestrated Cleopatra's murder to solidify his hold on the empire. Others hypothesize that she may have chosen to die by poisoning herself or suffocation. Unfortunately, with fragmented accounts and no concrete evidence, the truth surrounding Cleopatra's death remains a mystery. Adding to the sorrow surrounding Cleopatra's demise is the mystery of her final resting place. Despite over 2 millennia passing, the tomb of Antony and Cleopatra has yet to be discovered. Historians and archaeologists continue to search tirelessly for clues to unravel this compelling mystery. After their defeat, Octavian permitted Cleopatra and Antony to be buried together, while their children were taken to Rome. It is believed that Emperor Augustus agreed to let Cleopatra, a pharaoh, be buried with her lover Antony. Plutarch suggests that they were likely mummified to preserve their bodies. The search for their tomb has captivated countless individuals, with theories pointing to locations such as Taposiris Magna or the royal necropolis at Al-Qurunfuda. The tragic fate of Cleopatra and Mark Antony's children only deepens the sorrow surrounding their deaths. Octavian spared their lives but subjected them to cruelty. He made them walk through the streets of Rome in chains, behind a statue of their mother holding an asp snake. It was a humiliating and agonizing experience for the young heirs. But Octavian's wickedness didn't stop there. He ordered the execution of Caesarion, the son of Julius Caesar. Then there were Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, the surviving children of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. They were thrust into a world of chaos and power struggles as the rulers of Egypt at a young age. Cleopatra sent them away to Thebes for their safety, but they were eventually brought back to Alexandria. Octavian, driven by his desire for control, took them to Rome. Cleopatra Selene had a slightly different fate. She was appointed Queen of Crete and the Cyrenaica and married King Juba II of Numidia. They were tasked with governing Mauritania. The recent discovery of Cleopatra's tomb brings us back to our main character. After over 2 millennia, the tomb remains elusive, fueling the curiosity of historians and archaeologists. The story of Cleopatra's death and the search for her resting place continue to captivate our imaginations, leaving us to wonder if the full truth will ever be unveiled. What are the fascinating discoveries made in Cleopatra's tomb? The centuries-long search for Cleopatra's final resting place has captivated the imaginations of countless individuals, and among them is a remarkable woman whose life's mission is to unravel the enigma surrounding the ancient queen's tomb. Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an extraordinary individual hailing from the Dominican Republic, is a multifaceted scholar with expertise in law, archaeology, and diplomacy. Her journey began in 2004 when she visited Egypt and felt a deep connection to Taposiris Magna, an ancient temple she believed held the key to the enigma. Since then, Dr. Martinez and her team have tirelessly excavated the site, unearthing numerous artifacts associated with Cleopatra and her era. In their excavations, Dr. Martinez's team discovered a hidden burial chamber beneath the Egyptian sands, containing 10 mummies in 27 tombs believed to belong to Egyptian nobles. While the identities of these mummies remain unknown, the existence of the burial chamber itself is a significant find. One of the most remarkable discoveries came in the form of coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness and carvings depicting Cleopatra and Mark Antony in an embrace. These findings provide glimpses into the lives and relationships of these iconic figures, adding to our understanding of history. In 2022, Dr. Martinez's team made an astonishing discovery beneath the Temple of Osiris, a vast underground tunnel. This finding gave Dr. Martinez hope that they were getting closer to uncovering Cleopatra's tomb. However, skepticism arose within the archaeological community because historical records did not mention tunnels at Taposiris Magna. Nonetheless, Dr. Martinez's team continued their excavation efforts, unearthing various artifacts, including coins, skeletons, mummies, burial rooms, and tablets bearing the temple's name. These discoveries silenced the skeptics and injected renewed excitement into the search for Cleopatra's tomb. In recent excavations near Alexandria, Egypt, archaeologists uncovered a concealed tunnel leading to sanctuaries beneath the temple of Taposiris Magna. They also discovered a sacred lake and over 1,500 objects, including statues and golden artifacts. The most thrilling find was a collection of 200 coins featuring Cleopatra's name and image, suggesting a direct connection between her and the temple. Dr. Martinez believes that Cleopatra may have entrusted her body to the temple priests, and she could potentially be buried in the Temple of Osiris. Taposiris Magna held symbolic significance for Cleopatra as it represented her connection to the goddess Isis. whom she considered a human form. Mark Antony, her lover, was believed to embody the god Osiris, Isis's husband. This connection adds a mythical element to the search for Cleopatra's tomb. However, there are challenges in using artifacts as evidence. Missing or deteriorated artifacts can create gaps in the evidence, and unique artifacts can be challenging to analyze and authenticate. Dating artifacts accurately is difficult, and archaeological evidence often lacks context and significance. Natural factors such as time, exposure to elements, and excavation methods can also affect the preservation and reliability of artifacts. Despite these challenges, artifacts provide valuable insights into the search for Cleopatra's tomb. Archaeologists must approach the evidence cautiously, considering its context and relying on multiple lines of evidence to support their conclusions. The quest for Cleopatra's lost tomb continues, and with each discovery, we inch closer to unraveling the mysteries of the past. Dr. Kathleen Martinez's unwavering determination and the excitement surrounding her findings make this journey exhilarating. As the adventure unfolds, we eagerly await new chapters in history and the potential revelations they may bring. Thanks for watching today's video. While you're still here, click on the other videos you see on your screen right now.